take a slow, deep breath. Now, close your eyes for just a moment. Think of something you've been carrying, not in your hands, but in your heart. Maybe it's a memory. Maybe it's someone's name. Maybe it's a mistake you still think about before you fall asleep. Or perhaps it's a version of yourself that you quietly miss. Now ask yourself one simple question. How long have you been carrying it? A week? A year? 5 years? Maybe even longer. It's strange, isn't it? We would never carry a heavy suitcase everywhere we go. We wouldn't walk through life holding a chair on our shoulders. We wouldn't keep broken furniture inside our homes forever. Yet, many of us carry emotional weight every single day. Invisible, silent, heavy. We carry conversations that ended years ago. Words we wish we had never said. Words we wish someone had said to us. We carry disappointment, regret, fear, anger. We carry people who have already left our lives. Sometimes, we even carry versions of ourselves that no longer exist. And little by little, that weight changes us, not all at once, quietly, almost invisibly. It steals our joy. It steals our energy. It steals our ability to fully experience this moment. The saddest part is, many of us become so familiar with carrying emotional pain that we mistake it for who we are. But pain is not your identity. Regret is not your identity. Your past is not your identity. They are experiences, not definitions. Today, I don't want to teach you how to forget, because forgetting isn't healing. I want to explore something much more beautiful. How to remember without suffering. How to move forward without pretending nothing happened. How to let go without losing the lessons that shaped you. Because maybe, just maybe, the life you've been searching for is waiting on the other side of something you've been afraid to release. So, find a quiet place, take another deep breath, and let's begin. There is a sentence that has stayed with me for years. The heaviest things we carry are often the ones no one else can see. At first, I didn't understand what it meant, but the older I became, the more I realized how true it is. You can meet someone who smiles every day, yet secretly carries years of regret. You can meet someone who appears successful, yet still feels trapped by one mistake they made a decade ago. You can meet someone surrounded by friends, yet still feel lonely because they never let go of someone they lost. Pain doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes, it becomes part of your personality, not because it belongs there, but because you've carried it for so long that you've forgotten what life feels like without it. Think about your home. Every once in a while, you clean it, you throw away old boxes, broken things, clothes you no longer wear. You create space, not because those objects are bad, but because your home needs room to breathe. Now ask yourself something. When was the last time you cleaned your mind? When was the last time you let go of an old resentment, an old fear, an old version of yourself? Most of us are experts at organizing our homes, but beginners when it comes to organizing our hearts. We keep everything, every painful memory, every disappointment, every what if, every if only. And then we wonder why we feel emotionally exhausted. Maybe the problem isn't that life is too heavy. Maybe we're simply carrying too much. Today isn't about pretending the past never happened. It's about deciding that it no longer gets to decide who you become. Because healing doesn't begin when life changes. Healing begins when you do. There's something fascinating about the human mind. It remembers pain, far more easily than peace. Think about your own life. You probably don't remember every compliment you've ever received, but you almost certainly remember that one sentence, the one that hurt, the one that stayed with you, the one you wish had never been spoken. Why? Because your brain isn't trying to make you happy. It's trying to keep you alive. Thousands of years ago, remembering danger meant survival. If our ancestors forgot the place where they were attacked, or the person who betrayed them, they might not survive the next encounter. So the brain evolved to remember what hurt. It became incredibly efficient at storing painful experiences. That ability once protected us, but in today's world, it often traps us because the threats have changed. A broken promise isn't a wild animal. A painful breakup isn't a storm. A harsh comment isn't life or death. Yet our brains sometimes react as though they are. Imagine you're walking through a forest. A branch scratches your arm. The wound heals within a week. But imagine that every morning you deliberately scratch the same wound again. Would it ever heal? Of course not. And yet, emotionally, many of us do exactly that. We revisit old conversations, replay painful memories, imagine different endings. We ask ourselves questions that have no answers. Why did they leave? What if I had done something differently? Why wasn't I enough? The mind begins replaying the same story again and again. Not because it enjoys suffering, because it mistakenly believes that one more replay will finally produce understanding. But it never does. It only produces more pain. There's an old saying, you cannot change the first chapter of your story, but you can change the way the story continues. The tragedy is that many people never reach the next chapter, not because life stopped moving, because they kept rereading the last one. Imagine watching the same sad movie every single evening. At first, it makes you cry. After a while, it becomes familiar. Eventually, you begin believing that's the only story that exists. Our minds can do the same thing. When we repeat one painful memory often enough, it begins to shape our identity. We stop saying, something painful happened to me, and start saying, this is who I am. There is a profound difference between those two sentences. One describes an experience, the other becomes an identity. And identities are much harder to let go of. Perhaps that's why healing feels so frightening. Because if you've carried pain for years, who are you without it? If anger has been your shield, what happens when you put it down? If regret has become your companion, what happens when it leaves? For many people, the unknown feels more frightening than the familiar, even when the familiar hurts. Psychologists sometimes call this the comfort of familiarity. The human mind often prefers predictable discomfort over unfamiliar freedom. It's one reason people stay in unhealthy relationships, remain in jobs they no longer love, or continue believing old stories about themselves. Not because those stories are true, because they are familiar. But familiarity is not the same as safety. Sometimes, the safest place is the one you've never allowed yourself to enter, a future without the weight you've always carried. There is a beautiful image I want you to imagine. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a river. In your hands, you are holding a heavy stone. The stone represents everything you've refused to release. The regret, the guilt, the resentment, the endless questions. You keep holding it because you believe it matters, because you've carried it for so long, because letting go almost feels like betraying your past. But then, something unexpected happens. You notice that the river isn't asking you to throw the stone. It simply keeps flowing, patiently, quietly, without force. Life is like that river. It never stops moving. The question isn't whether life will continue. It will. The question is whether you will continue moving with it, or remain standing on the same riverbank, holding the same stone, watching the years pass by. Maybe, just maybe, the courage you've been searching for isn't the courage to keep holding on. Maybe it's the courage to finally open your hand. Holding on is something our minds naturally do. Then what exactly are we carrying? Some of it has names: fear, regret, shame. But much of it remains invisible, hidden beneath our daily routines, quietly shaping the way we think, the way we love, and the way we see ourselves. In the next chapter, we'll uncover those invisible burdens and discover why the heaviest things we carry are often the ones no one else can see. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, and for the first time in years, someone asks you to carry a backpack. You place it on your shoulders. At first, it doesn't feel very heavy. You begin walking, the sun is shining, the air is fresh. Everything seems normal. But as the hours pass, your shoulders begin to ache, your back becomes sore, your breathing grows heavier. By the end of the day, you're exhausted. Now imagine someone quietly opens that backpack. Inside, there are no books, no clothes, no food, only stones. One stone is labeled regret, another fear, another guilt. Then comes disappointment, broken trust, unspoken words, dreams that never happened. One by one, you begin taking them out, and something remarkable happens. The backpack itself was never heavy. It was what you chose to carry inside it. Life is often exactly like that. Most of us aren't overwhelmed because life is impossible. We're overwhelmed because our hearts are overcrowded. We carry yesterday's pain into today's opportunities. We carry old fears into new relationships. We carry old failures into new dreams. And before long, we begin expecting every tomorrow to look exactly like yesterday. But life has never worked that way. Every sunrise is different. Every season changes. Every river keeps flowing. Only the human mind insists on standing still. There is a quiet habit many of us never notice. Whenever something painful happens, we ask one question: why me? Why did this happen? Why did they leave? Why did I fail? Why wasn't I enough? The problem is not the question itself. The problem is that our minds become trapped inside it. Days become weeks, weeks become years, and instead of living, we begin investigating our own suffering, searching for answers that may never come. Sometimes there is no perfect explanation. Sometimes people leave without closure. Sometimes opportunities disappear without warning. Sometimes life changes without asking for permission. And perhaps one of the greatest acts of maturity is accepting that not every question will receive an answer. There is a story about two monks traveling together. As they approached a river, they found a woman who couldn't cross. One monk quietly picked her up, carried her across, and continued walking. Hours later, the second monk finally spoke. "We're not supposed to touch anyone," he said. "Why did you carry her?" The first monk smiled. "I put her down at the river." "But you're still carrying her." "How many people are you still carrying? How many conversations? How many disappointments? How many versions of yourself have you refused to put down?" Sometimes, the weight we carry isn't caused by what happened. It's caused by how long we've refused to release it. Imagine walking through a beautiful garden. Flowers bloom in every direction. Birds sing softly overhead. The wind moves gently through the trees. But instead of looking around, you're staring at the heavy bag in your hands. The beauty was always there. You simply couldn't see it. Not because life lacked beauty, because your attention was consumed by your burden. This is what emotional weight does. It narrows your vision. It convinces you that pain is all that exists. It whispers, nothing will ever change. You'll always feel this way. This is who you are now. But thoughts are not facts. Feelings are not forever. And today's pain is not tomorrow's destiny. Every season eventually changes. Even the longest winter makes room for spring. The question isn't whether healing is possible. The question is, are you willing to stop carrying what no longer belongs to you? Because every burden has a choice attached to it. You can continue holding it, or, little by little, you can begin setting it down. Not all at once, not perfectly, just one stone at a time. One memory, one regret, one fear, one expectation, until one day, you notice something surprising. You're still walking, but somehow, the journey feels lighter. There is one reason these emotional stones remain so heavy. It's because we keep returning to the same place, the past, again and again. But what if I told you? The past has no power on its own. Its power comes only from the meaning we continue giving it. There is a place almost every human being visits. Some people go there once in a while. Others never truly leave. That place is the past. It is a strange place. You can visit it without moving, without packing a suitcase, without opening a door. All it takes is a single thought, a song, a familiar smell, a photograph, a street you haven't seen in years, and suddenly, you're there again, standing inside a memory, reliving a moment that no longer exists. Have you ever noticed how powerful memories can be? You hear an old melody, and within seconds, you remember exactly where you were, who you were with, how you felt. It's incredible. Our minds can travel through time, but sometimes that beautiful ability becomes a prison, because instead of visiting the past, we begin living there. Imagine someone who owns a beautiful house. Every room is filled with light, large windows, fresh air, warm colors, a peaceful garden outside. But every morning, instead of living inside that beautiful home, they walk into the basement. A cold, dark, dusty room. They sit there all day, looking at old boxes, old photographs, old letters. Every evening, they leave, only to return the next morning. Wouldn't that seem strange? Of course, because the house has so much more to offer. Yet, emotionally, many of us do exactly that. Life has already given us today, this moment, this breath, this sunrise, but we spend most of our emotional energy living in yesterday. The truth is, the past is an extraordinary teacher, but it is a terrible place to live. Teachers are meant to prepare us, not imprison us. Every lesson has an ending. Every classroom eventually empties. Every student eventually walks out the door. Imagine staying in school forever, repeating the same class, taking the same exam, reading the same chapter, year after year. You would never grow. Life asks something different. Learn the lesson, then continue the journey. Sometimes we believe that holding on to pain honors what happened, that if we stop hurting, we somehow disrespect our memories. But that's not true. You can honor the past without living inside it. You can remember somewhat without allowing grief to define every future relationship. You can remember failure without allowing fear to control every future opportunity. You can remember heartbreak without closing your heart forever. The memory can stay. The suffering doesn't have to. Think about the ocean. Every wave reaches the shore, then quietly returns. None of them stay forever. Not because they aren't beautiful, because movement is the nature of life. Everything flows. The seasons, the rivers, the clouds, the stars, even your body. Every 7 to 10 years, most of the cells in your body have been replaced. Nature understands change. The only thing that keeps insisting on standing still is the human mind. There is another truth we rarely talk about. Sometimes, we are not holding on to the past. We are holding on to the person we used to be. Perhaps you miss the version of yourself who felt fearless, or hopeful, or deeply in love. Maybe you keep asking, what happened to me? But perhaps that isn't the right question, because life is not asking you to become the person you once were. It is inviting you to become someone new, a little wiser, a little calmer, a little stronger. Growth is not returning. Growth is becoming. A butterfly never spends its life trying to become a caterpillar again. A tree never wishes it were a seed. The sunrise never apologizes because yesterday ended. Nature doesn't cling to old versions of itself. It transforms again and again and again. Perhaps that is exactly what your life is asking of you now. Not to erase your past, not to deny your memories, but to stop building your home there. Visit it, learn from it, thank it, and then walk back into today, because this moment, right here, is where your life is actually happening. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Now, there is one final chain that keeps many people tied to the past. It isn't memory. It isn't regret. It isn't even fear. It's something far more personal. The inability to forgive. Sometimes another person. Sometimes the person we see every morning in the mirror. There is a quiet prison that millions of people live in every day. The strange thing is, the doors are unlocked, yet they never leave. Because the prison isn't made of steel. It's made of memory. It's built from resentment, from disappointment, from words that were never forgotten, from apologies that never came, and from a heart that quietly whispers, I can't let this go. Forgiveness is one of the most misunderstood words in the world. Many people hear the word and immediately think, if I forgive them, I'm saying what they did was okay. But forgiveness has never meant approval. Forgiveness has never meant forgetting. Forgiveness has never meant pretending the wound never existed. Forgiveness means something far more powerful. It means refusing to let yesterday continue stealing today. Imagine carrying a glass of water. It feels almost weightless. You can hold it easily for a minute, maybe 5. But imagine holding it for an hour. Your arm begins to ache. Hold it for an entire day. And eventually, the pain becomes unbearable. Now ask yourself, did the glass become heavier? No, you simply carried it for too long. Emotional pain works the same way. Sometimes the event itself lasted only a few minutes, a conversation, a betrayal, a goodbye. But years later, we're still carrying it. Not because life demands it, because we never learned when to put the glass down. Perhaps the hardest person to forgive isn't someone else. Perhaps it's yourself. How many times have you replayed one decision, one mistake, one moment that changed everything? Maybe you've whispered these words to yourself. I should have known better. If only I had waited. If only I had stayed. If only I hadn't trusted them. But here's something we rarely remember. The version of you who made that decision didn't have the knowledge you have today. They didn't know how the story would end. They simply did the best they could, with the understanding they had at that moment. Imagine reading the first chapter of a novel and criticizing the main character because they don't already know the ending. That wouldn't make sense. Yet we do this to ourselves all the time. We judge our past selves using today's wisdom. But wisdom only exists because experience came first. Without mistakes, there would be no growth. Without failure, there would be no resilience. Without heartbreak, there would be no compassion. Every scar carries a lesson. The goal isn't to erase the scar. The goal is to stop reopening it. There is another truth about forgiveness that most people never consider. Sometimes, the person who hurt you has already moved on. They're living their life, laughing, sleeping peacefully, making new memories, while you're still carrying the weight of what happened. Think about that for a moment. Who is really suffering? Resentment often feels like justice, but in reality, it quietly punishes the one who refuses to let go. It's like keeping a window open during a storm and wondering why the room never feels warm. At some point, you have to close the window, not because the storm never happened, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness doesn't erase accountability. Some people should never return to your life. Some boundaries should never be removed. Some trust can never be rebuilt. And that's okay. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. You can forgive someone and still choose distance. You can forgive and still protect your peace. Healthy boundaries are not signs of bitterness. They are signs of wisdom. Perhaps forgiveness is less about changing another person and more about releasing yourself from a story that has already taken too much. There is an old Japanese proverb that says, "Fall 7 times, stand up 8. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say, never fall. It doesn't say, be perfect. It simply reminds us that life will knock us down again and again and again. But healing begins each time we decide to stand up once more. Maybe today. Standing up doesn't mean solving every problem. Maybe it simply means making one quiet decision. I will stop carrying this alone. I will stop blaming myself forever. I will stop allowing one chapter to define my entire story. Because you are more than your worst day, more than your greatest regret, more than your deepest wound. You are the person who survived, the person who kept breathing, the person who kept searching for light, even in the darkest moments. And that person deserves compassion, especially from you. Once forgiveness begins, something unexpected happens. Your heart becomes quieter, your thoughts become lighter, and for the first time in a long time, you realize that not everything in life needs to be controlled. In fact, some of the greatest peace you'll ever experience begins when you stop trying to control what was never yours to control. There is a quiet truth about life that many of us spend years trying to avoid. Some things will never be under your control. Not because you're weak, not because you didn't try hard enough, simply because they were never yours to control in the first place. You cannot control another person's heart. You cannot control whether someone understands your intentions. You cannot control the past. You cannot control time. You cannot control how quickly life changes. And yet, Many of us spend an incredible amount of energy trying to do exactly that. Imagine standing on a beach. The tide begins to rise. The waves move closer. You decide that you don't want the ocean to change. So you stand there, pushing against every wave with your hands, again and again and again. After an hour, you're exhausted. The ocean isn't, because the ocean was never fighting you. It was simply being the ocean. Life often feels the same. Reality isn't trying to hurt you. Reality is simply unfolding, sometimes beautifully, sometimes painfully, always moving. The suffering begins when we demand that reality obey our wishes. They should have loved me. That opportunity should have worked out. This shouldn't have happened. Perhaps, but it did. And no amount of resistance can rewrite a finished chapter. Acceptance is one of the most misunderstood forms of courage. People confuse acceptance with giving up, but they are completely different. Giving up says, nothing matters anymore. Acceptance says, this happened, and now I will decide how to move forward. One is surrendering your future. The other is reclaiming it. Think of a sailor crossing the ocean. A sailor cannot control the wind, but they can adjust the sails. They cannot command the sea to become calm, but they can learn how to navigate the waves. Life asks the same of us, not to control every storm, but to become the kind of person who can sail through one. There is a peaceful freedom that arrives when you stop asking impossible questions. Why didn't life go exactly as I planned? Why wasn't everything fair? Instead, you begin asking, given where I am today, what is the next right step? Notice the difference. One question keeps you trapped in yesterday. The other gently leads you into tomorrow. Many people postpone happiness until life becomes perfect, until they find the perfect relationship, the perfect career, the perfect home, the perfect version of themselves. But perfection is a moving target. Every time you reach it, it moves again. Peace doesn't arrive when life becomes perfect. Peace arrives when you stop demanding perfection from life. There's beauty in uncertainty. Think back to the most meaningful moments of your life. Did you plan every one of them? Probably not. Some of the greatest friendships began unexpectedly. Some opportunities appeared by accident. Some of the happiest memories were completely unplanned. If everything had unfolded exactly according to your original plan, perhaps you would have missed those moments. Sometimes the road you never wanted to walk leads to the place you were always meant to find. That doesn't mean every painful experience has a hidden reason. Some things simply hurt, and that's okay. You don't have to explain every wound before you begin healing. You only have to decide that the wound will not define the rest of your life. Take another deep breath. As you inhale, imagine breathing in acceptance. As you exhale, imagine releasing resistance, not all at once, just a little. Then, a little more. Healing is rarely dramatic, most of the time. It looks exactly like this. One peaceful breath, one honest conversation, one small decision to stop fighting reality, and another. Until one day, you notice something beautiful. The situation may not have changed, but you have. And sometimes, that changes everything. Once we stop fighting life, something unexpected happens. Space appears. Space where fear once lived. Space where resentment once echoed. Space where old expectations quietly fade away. And in that empty space, something new begins to grow. Hope, possibility, a new version of yourself. Have you ever noticed what happens after a storm? At first, Everything feels broken. Branches lie scattered across the ground. The sky is gray. The air is heavy. For a moment, it seems as though nature itself has been damaged. But then, something remarkable begins to happen. The clouds slowly drift away. The sunlight returns. The birds begin to sing again. Tiny drops of water sparkle on every leaf. And somehow, the world feels even more alive than it did before. Life has a quiet way of doing the same thing. Sometimes, it clears away what no longer belongs. Not because it wants to punish you, but because it is making room for something new. The difficult part is, we rarely recognize this while it is happening. When something leaves our lives, we naturally focus on what we lost: the relationship, the opportunity, the dream, the version of ourselves we thought we would become. But what if loss is not always subtraction? What if, sometimes, loss is preparation? Think about a sculptor standing in front of a large block of marble. To someone passing by, it might seem strange. The sculptor spends hours removing pieces of stone, strike after strike. Dust fills the air. Large sections disappear. If you didn't know better, you might believe the sculptor was destroying the marble, but the sculptor isn't destroying anything. They're revealing something. Every piece removed brings the hidden masterpiece closer to the surface. Perhaps life has been doing the same with you. Maybe the people who left were never meant to stay forever. Maybe the dream that ended made room for a better one. Maybe the failure that broke your confidence was quietly building your resilience. Not every ending is a tragedy. Sometimes it is an invitation to become someone you could never have become otherwise. One of the greatest mistakes we make is believing that our lives are defined by what happens to us. They are not. Our lives are shaped by what we choose to do next. Every sunrise offers that choice. Every new day quietly asks, who will you become today? Not, who were you yesterday? But, who are you choosing to become now? Growth is rarely dramatic. It doesn't usually arrive with applause or fireworks. Most of the time, growth is invisible. It happens the morning you finally stop checking your phone for a message that will never come. It happens the afternoon you laugh without feeling guilty for the first time in months. It happens when you walk past a place that once made you cry and realize it no longer hurts the way it used to. These moments are easy to overlook, but they matter. Because healing is not one giant leap. Healing is thousands of tiny moments, quietly changing your heart little by little, day by day, until one morning you wake up and you realize you're no longer surviving, you're living. And there is a profound difference between the two. Survival is driven by fear. Living is guided by hope. Survival asks, how do I avoid being hurt again? Living asks, how can I experience life more fully? Fear builds walls. Hope opens windows. Fear keeps you looking backward. Hope gently invites you forward. That is why letting go is never just about releasing pain. It is about making room for joy, making room for curiosity, making room for love, making room for peace. Imagine trying to pour fresh water into a cup that is already full. No matter how pure the water is, it has nowhere to go. Sometimes, before life can give us something new, we have to empty the cup. Not because the old water was bad, but because it has already served its purpose. Perhaps your heart is like that cup. Perhaps it has been filled with grief, with disappointment, with expectations that no longer belong to who you are becoming. Maybe today, you don't need to search for more happiness. Maybe you simply need to create space for it. There is an old forest in Japan where some trees are more than 1,000 years old. Every autumn, they release every single leaf without fear, without resistance, without asking whether spring will come again. They simply trust the rhythm of life. And every spring, new leaves appear, healthier, brighter, more beautiful than before. Nature never clings to what its season has finished. Maybe we were never meant to either. Transition. We've spoken about memories. We've spoken about pain, about forgiveness, about acceptance, and about hope. Now, there is only one question left. After everything you've learned, after everything you've released, who do you want to become? If you've stayed with me until this moment, I want to thank you. Not because you watched a video, but because you chose to spend these moments reflecting on your own life. In a world that constantly asks us to move faster, you chose to pause, and sometimes that is the bravest decision we can make. There's something I want you to understand. Healing is rarely a single moment. It is rarely one conversation, one decision, or one breakthrough. Healing is a collection of ordinary days. Days when you decide to keep going. Days when getting out of bed feels like progress. Days when you smile for just a second longer than yesterday. Days when you notice the pain is still there, but it no longer controls every thought. Those moments may seem small, but they're quietly changing your life. Imagine watching the sunrise. It doesn't happen all at once. The sky doesn't suddenly become bright. First, the darkness softens. Then, a faint line of light appears on the horizon, almost invisible. Then the colors begin to change. Blue, pink, gold. Little by little, the entire world becomes brighter. Healing works the same way. At first, you don't notice it. You still have difficult days. You still remember. You still miss what you lost. But something inside you is changing. Your heart becomes a little lighter. Your breathing becomes a little deeper. Your thoughts become a little kinder. Until one ordinary morning, you wake up and realize you survived. Not perfectly, not without scars, but you survived. And suddenly, the story you've been telling yourself begins to change. Instead of saying, "Why did this happen to me?" you begin asking, "What kind of person has this experience helped me become?" That single question changes everything because it shifts your attention away from the wound and toward the wisdom, away from the loss and toward the lesson, away from the ending and toward the beginning. There's an old Japanese art called kintsugi. When a beautiful bowl breaks, the artist doesn't throw it away. Instead, they carefully repair every crack using gold. The bowl is not hidden. Its scars are not covered. They become a most beautiful part of its story. Imagine if we treated ourselves the same way. Imagine if we stopped seeing our scars as proof of weakness and started seeing them as proof of resilience. Because every scar tells a story, not of what destroyed you, but of what you survived. Perhaps your heart isn't broken. Perhaps it's becoming more beautiful in ways you cannot yet see. There is another truth I hope you'll remember. You don't need to have your entire life figured out. You don't need every answer today. You don't need to know exactly where you'll be 5 years from now. All you need is the courage to take one more step, just one. Because life has never been built in giant leaps. It has always been built through small, quiet choices. One honest conversation, one peaceful morning, one deep breath, one decision to forgive, one decision to rest, one decision to believe that tomorrow can be better than today. Those small choices become habits. Those habits become character, and character quietly shapes destiny. Perhaps you've been waiting for your life to change overnight, but maybe. Real transformation was never meant to be loud. Maybe it's happening right now. As you sit here, listening, thinking, feeling, choosing, you are already becoming someone new. Not because you've forgotten your past, but because you're finally allowing yourself to move beyond it. Take a moment. Close your eyes. Imagine meeting yourself 5 years from today. That future version of you looks peaceful. Their shoulders are relaxed. Their smile is genuine. Their eyes carry wisdom instead of fear. Now imagine they place a gentle hand on your shoulder and quietly say, "Thank you. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for choosing healing. Thank you for believing that life could still be beautiful. Thank you for letting go." Maybe that's the conversation you've needed all along, not with someone else, but with yourself. Final reflection. Before this journey ends, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Life is not measured by how tightly we hold on. It is measured by how deeply we live. Some people spend their entire lives protecting themselves from pain, only to discover they also protected themselves from joy. Others learn something extraordinary, that every ending makes space for another beginning, that every goodbye teaches us how precious love really is, that every storm eventually gives way to another sunrise, and that peace is not found by controlling life, but by learning to flow with it. So today, whatever you're carrying, ask yourself gently, does this still belong in the life I'm trying to build? If the answer is no, you don't have to throw it away all at once. Just loosen your grip, one finger at a time, one breath at a time, one day at a time. Because even the strongest trees let go of their leaves. Even rivers release the water they once carried. Even the night knows when it's time to become morning. And so do you. Closing. Thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If these words brought you even a little comfort, I hope you'll carry only one thing from today. Not the pain, not the regret, not the fear. Carry the lesson. Carry the wisdom. Carry the hope. And leave the rest behind. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. Protect your peace. Keep growing. Keep believing. And remember, you don't have to become someone else to find peace. You only have to stop carrying what was never meant to stay. This is English with Peace. I'll see you in the next journey. Take care.